Welcome to Voting Arena. Today, I have some interesting personality on set. My friendly friend, first of all, his name is Kingsley Okafor. Let me tell you guys, yesterday and today was his birthday. Yes, have you seen that kind of a person before that today is his birthday? Yesterday and today was his birthday. Kingsley, I want to tell you how an inspiration you've been to me personally and to everyone you've met. And you're such a great guy.
Thank you so
much. Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
And I have my wonderful friend here today, the convener of Nigerian Electoral Reform Coalition, Ukpola O Chinedu.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Today we're going to be dealing with a lot of issues about INEC, National Assembly, the Senate and the House of Rep, and electoral reforms. How to move this country from where it is right now to where we all desire for it to be. If not exactly, at least let's be on the way to that destination. So on this note, I want to welcome you all, guys, and I want to welcome us viewers at home. What informed this inspiration to carry out this exercise?
Okay, thank you very much. I must first appreciate you for the opportunity to be here. And the move for an advocacy for electoral reforms began after very wide search and research. We had a lot of discussions, a lot of people are out there talking and arguing, what are we going to do? This election has been this, election has been that. And a lot of people are more on the social media, which is good, all right? But I think it was important we walk the talk. And then we found out that without a reformed electoral system in the country, let me first say that the system we're operating right now is skewed in such a way that people like you and I cannot actually become what we want to be in this country. That's what it is. Now, for instance, you look at you see where somebody walks up and say to you, you will become the governor of this state. And he becomes. That's crazy. Out of 240 million people, something is wrong. The system is crazy. And so we need to put it right. We need to make it all-inclusive. We need to make the system straight and transparent. We need to make the system credible. We need to put a level playing field for everybody. You should be able to contest tomorrow and say, I contested and I lost. And I keep telling them, if Nigerians vote for a goat, allow the goat to rule them. Don't give them a cow when they have voted for a goat. It's treacherous, it's fraudulent. And so that's why I felt sitting down and looking wouldn't be the best. I began by calling a few of my friends, one person. I said, can we do something? Let's do something. That's where the name Nigerian Electoral Reform Coalition, because it's actually a board of several people and all that. So faith-based, Muslims, Christians, everybody. Let's see what we can do, because saving our country is in our hands. That's how we began. Wow. And right today, the whole thing is nice.
Let me throw this thing.
Yes, like a prophet.
Let me throw this thing.
I want to come to you.
Yeah, because he presented you in a very formal way. People may not really understand. This man here is the convener of NERCO. NERCO are the people that went to National Assembly and demonstrated, demanding that there must be electronic transmission of results come 2027. Mandatory electronic transmission of results come 2027. And they gave National Assembly 30 days ultimatum, which I think they are doing too many other jobs in that line. I will say thank you for that. So I'm just putting it the way our viewers will see how radical you have been. You're not just putting this on your neck. I knew you faced. Did you face any challenge you could remember? Getting access to National Assembly when you people were protesting, before National Assembly.
Oh yes, we did. When we got to National Assembly, of course, we gathered first at the Unity Fountain.
Yeah.
That's what we gathered, because we called it rally and advocacy visit. And so we were strategic to call it that, because we didn't want anybody to. In fact, I specifically told them to remove any word protest from the letters, from the documents, because we don't want anybody to say we are protesting. And I said, we're not protesting. We're advocating for something. Because you see, it's important to begin to use the right words if you want to get the right result. Now, everybody just like using the word protest. Protest, protest, protest. No, it's good to protest, but what we're going for is advocating for something. And we were advocating on behalf of Nigerians. So when we left the Unity Fountain, of course, at the Unity Fountain, first of all, they did not give us access to the Unity Fountain. They said it was the DPO, Maitama division that has the key. But of course, the day before, we had made sure we delivered letters to the IGPA police, to the director of the DSS director. We just made sure, then also to the clerk of National Assembly, to send letters to them to let them know we're coming. You see, by my training, I'm a consultant, I'm a compliance consultant, and I have been a labor leader for years. I have been a labor leader, I've been an activist from school, you know, and then when I came out and started working, I became a labor leader too, before I went into the banking sector, and I left the bank. Now, I am a policy person. I like to do things excellently. I like to be sure that I'm not missing any mark. So I will have to make sure that when I came in with Peter came with me to Abuja. Peter Randy, you know him. He's our PRO. To be precise, yes. And so I told him to come and join us on the group, and then he joined NERCO, and he's been doing a great job. I mean, he's doing a great job, because the 30 days was actually, he handled it on the social media, counting the 1 day, 2, and it was really, a great job. So
we would like to have him on this set.
Yes,
so
he would. You would have him.
Goes on, yes.
He would. He should be in Abuja one of these days. But anyway, so when we finished, we went to the
National Assembly.
No, at the Unity Fountain. They didn't give us the key. So I drove with him and one or two other persons to Maitama division place. When we got there, they said the DPO was not there. So we didn't find her or him, whoever it is. And I said, okay, there's no need. Let's go. I don't need inside the place. I just need outside where people can gather. For choosing the inside was just for the safety of the public. So let's go and stay inside. That was better. Of course, we got a rule that by law, they are not supposed to lock the place for us. They are supposed to allow us in as long as we have informed the government. So, but they didn't. So we were outside, gathered ourselves, and that's from there we now moved into vehicles, and then actually wanted us to walk. They told me that before we walk from here to National Assembly, you'll be tired. Now, okay, now I like it that I was able to ask questions, because for me, as a geologist, I walk a whole lot. And then I have walked 14 kilometers.
Wow, that's
and I could walk more. You know, so so when they said that, I said that was a good idea. And then, because everybody's not the same. So we now had to put everybody in the vehicles, different vehicles with our truck, now move forward to National Assembly. But when we got to National Assembly gate, they did not allow us in. So I had to go to talk with the police people and all that. I insisted we were going to enter, but they called the DPO to come. Very nice man, wonderful man. The DPO is just
it's good. It's good you're making that record about him.
You know, very wonderful man. Sound. And I told him, I said, the reason I'm listening to you because of how intelligent you are approaching the matter. And I said to him, and that's the more reason why you should look for electoral reform. I said, because intelligent people like you cannot be like this. You should be bigger than this. So where they became so difficult, they kept us outside, and I told the people, let us keep singing, let us keep dancing. They now said few of us should go inside to discuss. I selected 6 people plus one of our lawyers. Went inside, discussed with them, and they agreed on some terms, not without some squabbles anyway. We agreed on some terms. We now came back and involved the people, and that's how we left. From there, we went to the EU office and delivered this copy of the letter to the EU office, and then before we discussed.
All right. Now let's move further from here. Now we have your actions as NERCO. What are the reforms you want?
Okay. You know, electoral reform is a kind of an open-ended stuff. It's quite large. It's not. just a few things. But we have found out that if we say electoral, all the things in electoral reform, we may just not get all.
Okay.
So we said, okay, let's get the key things. Now, you and I know there are key things that if you put into an election right now, you can get at least some level of credibility.
Yeah.
And so we chose, initially I chose one.
Okay.
But when I finished the meeting with the group, they added one more.
Okay.
And when they added that one more, everybody voted for it. I said, it's fine. So we added it, it became 2 points. So the first point is we're asking for mandatory, now keyword, mandatory electronic transmission of results. Now, we actually said full-fledged electronic voting system with instant display of results.
Yeah.
That's mandatory. Then fixing INEC. In other words, giving us a credible means or way of appointing people supervised means of appointing INEC leadership. That the Ways report already has recommendations on this.
Exactly.
Yes. Several other reports have recommendations on this.
Yes.
So they are not looking for documents on what to do. Our people, our leaders don't lack knowledge of what to do. They are just lacking the willpower. And so we are pushing the political willpower to come out. Because knowledge is not their problem. The knowledge is everywhere. And so that's it. That's what we're asking for. 2 points.
Okay. So you have something to say?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was looking at when you said appointment of INEC. Yes, West Report has a very, something that could look like independent. Yes, I agree with you completely. Are you not concerned about, the biggest democracy in the whole world is India?
Yes.
Where you have over 980 million registered voters, and over in the last election, there were about 640 that voted, 48 million that voted. The election were conducted and the result gotten in one day. So the demand for all our elections to be conducted in one day, you don't think it's going to help in the credibility of election? Instead of having the president and the Senate like we do and the House of Rep, then later the state governors and the state House of Assembly members.
Having the elections conducted in one day would help. We can't rule out the election.
Because everybody...
It will help because it will remove some certain level of politicizing that goes into our elections, where certain people make certain people work for them. If you don't work for me, you will not return.
That's right.
Now, that will help. I agree. But the question then is, whether it is one day or whether we want to do it
staggered
forms, we still want it transparent.
Yeah.
What we're asking for is not the timeline or the schedules. We're asking for transparency and credibility. We are saying that if Mr. Kingsley is voting, Mr. Kingsley should say, the number is 200 people has voted. And he voted and it was 201.
Yeah.
And he could see it. And so we're not depending in any kitchen cabinet people to come together and start calculating, whether with calculator or with hands, to come and give us results.
2025.
In this 2021, the 21st century, it doesn't make any sense. I think we're living backwards.
That's right.
For people to come and sit down, you see one old man that does not even know anything, say he's collating documents that he cannot calculate. And then when he finishes, the next moment you see documents all modeled up, all kinds of things. So I think we should move forward. That's what we're saying, because we couldn't be living backwards.
Yeah.
This is like taking us backwards.
Now let's look at the issue of your relationship. Let's do it like this: a tripartite relationship. Okay. You have the policymakers, which you are approaching first of all right now. National Assembly, do you understand? Probably later the executive, and probably even INEC themselves. Then you have the CSOs, those that are going to be with you in this fight. Then you have also the electorate, the people that feel or that you think they are being cheated on by this form of whatever it is, rigging, and because of not being transferring results electronically. What's your relationship with these groups?
Okay.
Especially the policymakers.
In advocating or in advocacy, you go with a strategy that I would say. I have been a civil society leader. I've been involved. I have an NGO. I have another coalition that I'm the national president. And I've been in this. I have worked with civil society people. I'll come to that after I finish with the Policymaker.
Yes.
We'll get to that point. You asked me that question, and I really want to answer you. Now, you need to find out exactly whatever you're looking for, where to get it in advocacy. Because you see, if you're hitting the wrong person,
Yes.
for whatever it is you're looking for, you will never get it. If he doesn't have it, he can't give it to you.
Yes.
And I tell people, it's just like coming up and saying that the government should do, you give them 20 things, and out of the 20 things, 5 of them cannot be done in 10 years. And then you say they must do it in 1 week. I mean, we will be wasting our time. Surveyed, did a good feasibility work to be sure that the person you're asking has it, and he will give it to you. I'll give you an example. It will be very wrong for me to go to INEC now and start saying I want mandatory transmission of results, because it's not in the hands of INEC.
Yes.
The Electoral Act already actually had commented on that. It's just that they punctured it from another subsection, saying giving INEC power
To use their discretion.
Use their discretion.
Still in the same document.
In the same document, giving them power to use their discretion where necessary. Now, I have to point out, I have to call out here, all right? People like Senator Orji Zokalo and Senator Ahmed Lawan and one other Kabiru. That one didn't come back in the 10th Senate.
Yeah.
Now, these two people, Nigerians should shame them. They should have been ashamed of themselves. Senator Orji Zokalo and Ahmed Lawan, they should be ashamed. Nigerians,
that's the former Senate president.
Former Senate president.
Yes.
They should be ashamed, because Orji Zokalo was bold enough to stand at the floor of the Senate to say that even his own constituency does not have network. And so they were the ones that brought the punctuations that came to that mandatory transmission, saying that everywhere network, there was no network everywhere in the country. So now, but we have people are doing their ATM transfers, POS work, almost all parts of Nigeria.
Every nook and cranny.
But when it comes to transmitting money and transferring money, they have network. But when it comes to transmitting results,
they don't.
These two men came and told this hallowed chamber that there was no network. Now, Orji Zokalo fought that thing because they know allowing instant transmission and electronic transmission will be signing their resignation. Because when you look at the report of the pedigree of these men, you will see that they are not even supposed to be in the chambers, for God's sake. They have no reason being there. So they would want this distorted system. This distorted system favors them. And that is why I'm telling Nigerians today, we are already going to give them a badge of shame. All of them that are involved in ensuring and seeing that we don't have a credible electoral system, all of them are going to have badge of shame, starting with Senator Orji Zokalo and Senator Ahmed Lawan, former Senate president. We are giving them a badge of shame. And all Nigerians should give it to them wherever they see them. Badge of shame.
Okay, you mentioned just a while ago that if mandatory electronic transmission of results were in place, people like Orji Zokalo and maybe Lawan probably wouldn't find their way into the chambers. But beyond that, do you have instances where do you think that manual collations being done by INEC has eroded public trust, on our elections?
I think that question you're asking me is obvious, even to you.
Yeah.
Every Nigerian has evidence of this. I don't need to mention. There's several of them. I've been involved in several elections. I'm not a child. I'm over 50. So I may look very young and so fine.
You may look young.
Young and fine. I may not be having white beards.
You're giving yourself a badge of beauty.
No. I may not have white beards like you guys are having. But I'm a fine man. But I'm about 50.
Yeah.
So, but at least I have experienced several elections. And we all know what has been going on. That including our NYSC people who are supposed to be taught the path of honor, I rather fought the path of shame.
Yes, bad.
No, it's the worst part
Bringing
of it.
children and teaching them how to read.
People were supposed to teach integrity. We are teaching them. No, hold on. You see, the other day I went to the office of the IGP. When I want to submit that, I saw one young police officer. This guy will not be. I don't think he's up to 20. Should be about 18 or 19 or thereabout. But young. And I said to him, I'm glad to see a young police officer like you. Yeah. I said, I hope they teach you well. That's what I said. I said, I hope they teach you well. You see, because the worst part of what is going on is the destruction of the future.
Of the system.
Of the future. The future of this country is the youth.
And at the end of the day, it's going to be worse up, because when you plant a seed, the harvest is usually planted than the seed.
Now, these people that are doing what they're doing right now, what they are doing now is small compared to what the people they are raising now will do. If we don't stop this cycle now, Nigeria may not recognize themselves in the next 5 years. So people are saying, let us be, and let me be straight about this. This is not a Chinedu matter. It's not an Atiku matter. It's not an Obi matter. This is a system issue. Whether it was PDP that was here now, PDP would have done the same thing. Yeah. APC is doing exactly the same script. The people you're seeing in APC today were all in PDP. And now you see those who are PDP now moving over to APC.
So clearly it's not a fight against Asiwaju government.
No. I was telling them in National Assembly, and I said, Mr. President, you're a Democrat. For God's sake, you've been a 2-term governor, you've been a senator. Under normal election, you will win. So why would you stop transparent election? I mean, your people will vote you. Yes. Senator Fabio has been a transformative governor in his state. Under normal circumstances, Akwa Ibom State will vote Senator Fabio any day. So why stop transparency and credibility? These are men I'm talking to. I'm telling them, it doesn't stop you. Credible election will not stop you from becoming anything in government.
Okay, so why stop it? I want you to break down, I asked you about policy makers, then briefly on CSOs and the electorate, which are the most important people you need to fight this fight?
The CSOs and what?
And the electorate, the voters.
The voters.
Yes.
No, first, the CSOs are also electorates. They are just opportune to become part of those who are advocating for policy changes and all that. But there's a problem we have in our country. I say this in CSO forums, and they are not happy with it. Most of our, let me not use most, a major part of our CSO bodies have been corrupted. Corrupted by the West. Corrupted by these international organizations that come into our country to rob us. Many of them now, not all, there are still some of them who are straightforward in what they are doing, who are still doing their job. But many of them right now are all after conferences, per diem, and all that. And then they give them thematic areas of what they want them to work on. You don't give them what your country needs. They bring you what they
can give.
They bring the money, tell you what you work, distracting our people. So these international NGOs and all that, they will give you what now you should be working on FOI.
And that's not, but that might not be our problem.
But that's not our problem. We are looking at how to get our system, right leaders. And you're telling us to go and be pursuing FOI or pursue some other things. And then when we say, come and fund this part, you say, no, it's not your thematic area. Which one is your thematic area? You are in a country of people and they're telling you their problem, but you want to bring your own problem. No, we will tell you what our problem, and that's why I started going away from many of them.
Okay, so on that CSO issue, I know cases of practical Ethiopian communities where when you come in, you define what you're coming to do. They will tell you the area they want you to work on, not the area you want to work on.
That's the right.
Because in recent time, during June 12 and all successive advocacy that we've seen, we didn't see it like this, especially in this. We are not talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu specifically, but we've seen them so quiet. They are almost dead.
Well, I'm telling you that many of them have been crippled by the way they have been made to function. Are you aware that during the 2023 election, that a particular group of observers that came said that what they came to witness was a crime scene? Our own CSOs, our own civil society organizations, to present you, some of them, you will see them, go back to your record. Some of them came and gave reports that it was a free and fair election.
So they're their interest is only about crime, no matter what else.
So free and fair election because they are being paid by some people to give reports. So the challenge is that I'm only calling on some of all those CSOs who still know what we are up to. Those who are still committed to the well-being of our country to come out and join us in what we're doing and see to it that we fight and get it. There are a lot of people who are, or even in the National Assembly, who are fighting for electoral reform even before we came. They are there already. It's just that they may not be pressing on these particular items that we're pressing on, but they are fighting on electoral reform in one form or the other. I'm saying let us all come together and decide what is paramount for us and make sure we get it done. Because when we get it done, it favors our country.
All right, let me bring us in India. There is one particular thing that happened in a place called Gujarat.
Okay.
You know, Green Forest. Yeah. You know, a polling station was installed at that location simply because of one voter. Yes, because of one voter. Now, if we have this mandatory electronic transmission of results, which I want any day, you know, I would prefer it. I want it. If there is any place, you know, within our remote area for any reason that we are unable to have a network coverage in that place, what happens to those voters?
I can boldly tell you that Nigeria does not have a problem of transmission. I'll tell you that. I can boldly tell you that. Even INEC knows. Nigeria doesn't have a problem of transmission. The beavers that they are carrying has delayed transmission mode. What it means is that if there's a loss of network, it will operate off network.
Okay.
It will operate off network. What it does is that when you have finished as accrediting people, it will have its record.
Yeah.
Anywhere it meets network,
It's
it
automatically
uploads.
That's how it is.
You say WhatsApp.
You say WhatsApp. Maybe there's no network, it doesn't work. But once there's network,
It has the
works.
record inside,
Yes.
and it will upload immediately.
Anytime you come to a network, yes.
And you don't even need. You can.
Your preferred solution.
You can hotspot the system.
Yeah.
If there is no network there, you carry a network and hotspot.
No, you've answered it. If for any reason they transmit and there is no network, if they carry that beaver, because they are not going to store it in that village.
Yes.
Oftentimes they keep it in
It
INEC
will
office.
upload.
It's going to work.
It will upload.
So at the end of the day, we don't have any encumbrance.
There is no reason for it. And let me also tell you, we are already, as I'm doing this work, a lot of people are reaching out to me. We are working on a blockchain system that is hardly alterable.
Yeah.
You know, so we are not just sleeping. There are several things going on. Just where they say yes, and let's move on.
But let me put it this way to you.
Yeah.
Do you think Nigerians will accept non-electronic collection in 2027?
That's the electorate now. That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
Nigerians electorate.
That's the voters.
Whether they will accept non-electronic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just assuming nothing happens, the National Assembly for any reason didn't go through, and INEC remains. Just if INEC remains what it is today, Electoral Act remains what it is today, do you think Nigerian voters will be at peace with it? Even though, like you said earlier, what they have in Electoral Act today was all actually sufficient for them to do this electronically. They just converted the exception to the rule and turned the rule to the exception. That's also how.
That's it. Now, to answer you, I have to be straight about this one, so don't talk much about it. Because the honest truth is that Nigerians are unpredictable. You see, even as you're fighting for them, they can turn against you tomorrow. And start looking for something else and say, why is he wearing that muffler all the time? Can he not just drop the muffler? No, nobody.
Or that you slapped somebody last year.
Not even that. they will just look for one thing and start looking for what they say you have done. Peter went the other day. We were supposed to go and see Pastor Adeboye. And when I got the information, he called me and reminded me that they have invited us to come and see Pastor Adeboye on this matter. And I was still finishing up what I was doing towards this side, and he had gone to Lagos already. I thought, okay, since you're in Lagos, you go with one or two of our people from Lagos, go and see the man of God and talk with him. Even though everything didn't go as we planned, because he was supposed to do a few display of I support electoral reform and all that, because of course protocol probably may not have permitted, but I guess maybe it would have been different if otherwise. But he went. If you see the write-up, the comment of people when that video was posted, you'll be shocked. This same Peter that all of them were hailing, these same people that come and say, there's nothing they didn't tell him on the comment. I was reading it. But what I'm not trying to tell is that when you do things for
but you also can't rule away that the election hasn't started. During election, politicians hire foot soldiers, which they pay. Actually, they get them up to 1,000, 2,000. They pay them daily and release them on internet to counter anything you are doing. I agree they are Nigerians, but they are doing it for fee. It's just like a publicity secretary of a party or a media aide of a governor or anybody. Laundering the image of their principal.
We know when internet rats are working. The one I just told you were not internet rats. Those were Nigerians. You see, let me explain something to you.
So what did they do? You need to tell us. What did they do?
What their basic comments?
What their basic? As
I understand their feeling. Some of their feelings were like okay, why are you going to be Baba? Is the one supporting Baba, APC Baba? He's one supporting them. His pastors.
Your fight is not a partisan fight.
Yes. So he should go and tell his APC people to go and change the thing. He should go and I'm trying to explain to these people that this is not a partisan fight.
Yeah.
You know, and we need to get everybody. We need to get on board to support this. Now, whether it is Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is president right now, or it is Ahmed Bola Tinubu that is president now, this thing that's happening now, we will still have fought it. Now that we know we have to change it, let us change it and move on from here now and enter the new dawn. Because if we don't, the future may just be living.
So that's where we need a lot of education for the electorate. Now that's the reason I asked you that question. What is their response? Most of the time they move by their emotions because of what they have seen in the past. So you can't blame them too much. But I would advise that a lot of education, voter education is needed.
Yeah, we are. I will just sorry to cut you there, but we are also working on voter education. It's part of the things we are working on. And in different formats. I may not release everything right now. Some of them are still work in progress. We got very big plan on voter education, and we are also going to get a lot of civil society organizations who are involved in it, which I also know they are also involved in it. We're working on that, but I can tell you, Nigerians really need to make up their mind for a change.
Okay, let's move a little bit faster. Now, the National Assembly is your primary concern because they are the one that has the, will I say, power or the eligibility.
Yes.
Now, within the National Assembly, I know you guys have submitted letters to the head of the Senate, the Speaker of the House, the senator representing FCT, that's Ireti Kingibe, and maybe a couple of other principal officers in the House. What's their response?
Now, I can tell you, right now, we have submitted, like you said, to the Senate President, to the Speaker, and we also went and met Senator Ireti. And so far, from the three people, we have not gotten any response from them. From these three people you mentioned, we have not. Maybe they're doing something.
And it's been over 30 days.
Maybe
because there was a timeline.
I'm coming. Maybe Senator Ireti is doing something. Maybe right in her office or with the people there. But I don't have the information. They have not communicated to us the way she called us to say, this is this, bring me this information. She has still not called us or gotten back to us and say, I have done this is what I have done. That was the agreement. That's what we said she was going to do, that, try her best and reach out to the leadership of the Senate. We have not gotten that information. But we are still moving forward. Also reaching out to other members of the House of Rep and the Senate to see to it that they also come on board to participate in this. It's not Senator Ireti's work alone.
Yes.
Because only her can do it. She's even in the minority in the first place. Minority of the minority. You know. So we still believe that even though we've given her, they may not have given her attention. They may not have even have responded to her. So we still want to do more. So that's why I call it advocacy. We will keep advocating, we'll keep pushing until we have their ear, them respond to it.
But in every house, there's always what you call a bipartisan synergy, where people discuss on issue that concerns the nation, not the one that concerns the party, because this is not about a political party. You are not calling out a political party. You are calling out what will reform our electoral process, in Nigeria. Is there anything like a bipartisan group, or colleagues that you can get together from all angles and say, because you mentioned Senator Ireti, that she's not a majority in the House, but is there anything like bipartisan in the House on this issue?
This is, of course, I'll call this a matter of national importance, right? Like you said. So we are working on something. You permit me not to say everything that I'm doing at this moment, but I can tell you we're not sleeping over it. Like you said, bringing people on board and all that. You see, it is not easy to bring people on board, especially in that place. In the National Assembly, it matters to them which side you are. And there's one thing or the other that favors who is there or who is not there. So many of them are very careful. So, but that, by the way, I've done a lot of consultations, even today. I've done a lot of consultations on members of the National Assembly today, and we're still putting people on board. And I'm hopeful between now and next week, we should have a concrete number of people that we're reaching out to.
All right. I was going to ask you so that our viewers can actually learn. Pragmatically, what is it that is inherent in INEC governance structure that makes you think that its neutrality is compromised? Starting from appointment, funding, qualifications of people, their tenure, and the likes, and their reporting lines and everything. How do you think, what is it that is inherent in its current state that makes you think that its neutrality is compromised? It's just that, the INEC will have to do, once you hand over the electoral act, you amended with the provisions you are looking for, then they become perfect?
No, it's thank you. I would say that you see, the foundation of a house matters and determines what you can put on top of it. I'm glad you agreed there. So, I'm glad you agreed there. Yeah. So it matters a lot the kind of foundation a house has. Yeah. You see, the beginning of anything tells a lot. Like I said, the way if you see a child and the way he's scrolling, he would determine how he will walk and all that. So, first, that the mode of appointment of INEC, that right that was given by the Constitution to the president. Now, in most cases, I don't even know how they put that in there, because I keep thinking, are they not aware that the president
and not add independent to the name?
Yeah, I'm even wondering, are they not aware that the president was going to be contested? Because it's like you being a captain of a team, you are appointing the referee, who will be the referee of the match. You see, that's where, for me, that becomes a big problem first. Now, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Number one, he's been appointed by the people he's overseeing. That already has an issue, number 1 point. Number 2 point, he is being given money by the same people he's going to rule over. They can dictate what they do with him, because he who pays you will dictate the tune. So, the money they are going to give to him comes from them.
And he can also be fired.
Of course, by the people who also has appointed him. So, the structure is already completely wrong. There is no way the president should be appointing an INEC leadership or even the commissioners. There's no way. He should not. No, in fact, the politicians should not have a hand in it. They should have, from what we recommended, a neutral leadership selection group. Maybe they could pick them from the peace committees, pick them from all these people who are not even past presidents. Bring them on board as to select credible hands. And then these people, they will now recommend the best 2 or so to the Senate, to the President and to the Senate for them to now
approve.
No, let them just screen and choose the one. Because whatever it is that brought up there must have been fine. And then let them screen them and approve. And then send to the president to assent. And at this time, because it's coming from the public, from the people, the president must be made to sign as long as National Assembly has approved. So that's just what I'm saying. But we begin from there and then give them an independent nature, meaning that their budget will come straight from the House. And this is what INEC should be given. And it is managed by INEC. If you're going to have a commission, well, of course, there is already a commission. There is already a commission. So if there's a commission, so let them manage their budget and give report to the House, to the
National Assembly. Yeah.
Yes, to the people. So I think what we have right now doesn't even work at all. There's no way to work.
There's a lot of indignation against INEC.
Yes, that structure is very bad.
As it is right now. How do you think INEC can redeem themselves? Do you think
INEC cannot redeem themselves?
But look at the way it is. They can decide to transmit election result electronically.
Even with the laws we
have
right
now. Current law, they can because it gives them the discretion.
Yes.
But they will not. That's why I said he who pays the piper dictates the tune. The people paying him wants this dysfunctional structure system. They want it that way. They want it the way it is. They want this messy structure.
So can we say that we don't have a credible INEC?
No. It's not about credible INEC or not credible. It's this result. It is the product.
They are the one that
we are saying
they are the one that brings the result.
We are saying the product, what they bring out is not credible. The things that they are giving us, the output of their work is not credible. I don't know whether they are credible or not credible. All I know is the output of their work is not credible and is not transparent. Their personalities and what they are, I don't know. But what I have received from them is not credible.
No, their personality is their judgment. That's how we know the personality of the human being.
Yes. I am saying that I am not talking their personality.
Yeah.
Whatever I have received from them, you gave me a cup of water and I said the water is dirty. It doesn't mean whether your clothes is dirty or not. It doesn't mean whether you are a bad person or not. That you gave me a cup of water and I said this water is dirty. Go and change it. That's what I'm asking for. I'm not asking you whether you are.
I took my bath or not.
Whether you took your bath or not, doesn't change anything. Whether NEC on themselves are credible or not, changes nothing to me. They should give Nigerians what Nigerians want.
Okay, just looking at issues of personnel training because.
Sorry. Let me put something straight here.
Yes.
Now, we are asking for competence and credibility of individuals. Within for that are going to work in INEC.
Exactly.
Now, I just want to correct this part. Because I made that statement because you are asking me about INEC now.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
One of the things we're asking for is that the people to be selected or appointed must be credible character, people of credible character, because they will believe that that's how they will give us the right result. We also believe that the reason these people are giving us the wrong output now is simply because probably they are not credible.
So, but the argument is that most of the credible people we have in our country are academicians and professors, and that's what informed the introduction of returning officers to be.
Most of who said so? Where did they get that from?
That's the notion.
But there's no data supporting that. There's no data supporting that. It's just a general. It's just a belief.
Even that there's no data. No data supporting.
No data supports that.
Informed the introduction of returning officers.
Jaga was a professor. So he felt his colleagues. He asked his colleagues that
he wanted to give money.
Yes, he wanted to benefit from the system. So, but let me come to this. I keep referring to Indian because of the logistic that went into their election, particularly that of 2024. And they didn't have to struggle. Even the Prime Minister Modi himself said it, that people should use their election as a case study and that people should come and study. Do you think, INEC, given all that they require to work, that they must go ahead, probably pick that Indian election as a case study and see what was done? And when you have studied something, if you experience something, by yourself, or you do that thing as a case study, it has a way of going into you. It begins to be an inherent internal benchmark when you want to do something. Do you think they can do that, or you believe they have all the knowledge, but they don't want to do it?
No. What you're asking for is very correct. And I can tell you Nigerians does it. We do it all the time. Most times when we appoint people, including our ministers and all that, they always go to understudy other countries. Question is, do they actually give out what they have studied?
One of my I think Kingsley said that immediately they land at Nnamdi Airport. Everything they learn.
There's an atmosphere that becomes them.
So they usually go to understudy.
Yeah.
It's not whether they have the ability to go and study. Nigeria wastes money in understudying people outside. But it is whether they will apply it is the matter. So that's why when we are choosing the people, we must choose people of credibility. And then, like some people will tell you, if somebody is telling you, I want to do this, check his track record.
Yeah.
What has he done before? People don't just bring out results. It is what they have been doing that will tell you whether they can bring out results or not. So that's it.
All right, our time is winding down. There are a great number of issues we would have still loved to dwell on. But now, way forward, your next line of action. We want Nigerians to know. We also want them, I'm sure you want them to support you, or this cause, which they are also direct beneficiary of. What's your next line of action? 30 days has elapsed right now from the office of the Senate President. Nothing has happened. Speaker, nothing has happened. The other person, Kingibe, no call has come in. Your next line of action.
Okay, thank you very much. On the 5th of June, which was the day before the 30th day expired, on the 6th of June, we had a meeting, and we had to look at what was the next line of action. Because, of course, we're wondering whether they're going to respond, whether they're not going to respond, they're going to do something. And so the first point is that we have just started this call for this shaming and honor thing.
Yeah.
We are going to be doing that the next 30 days. All of the senators and rep members who are not in support or who are in one way have brought us into this quagmire, we're going to be shaming them. And those who have been helping and pushing for the good of it, we're going to be honoring them in one way or the other. Whenever I have myself in any studio like I'm here, we will call out their names. Those who are in honor, we will call them out. Like that, we'll be doing it. So we're already in the process. Okay. Then we have also set out an Occupy NAS action. It's a mass protest action. This is when I'm not going to talk protest. A mass protest action that is going to be taking place. Now, we had put on a temporary date of 6th of August. But that date was going to be changing because I'm going to have a meeting in the next few days. So, because there's some information I've just gotten that may change that date. So we are going to bring back for a new date for that, because I'm sure it's going to change. So there's a mass protest action that is coming up. And for that to take place, what I'm going to say now, I'm not just saying to you, I'm saying it to the leaders out there and all of them, so that they think we're not playing, so they don't know we're not playing. We are activating NERCO in all the 36 states of the Federation, including FCT. Right now, we have activated in 25 states. And by the time it is Saturday to this week, we would have been done with all the 36 states of the Federation, the FCT. So there is massive work going on. So it will be a model showdown. So they are not thinking, these are not children. I'm not doing children's thing. So we are going to have a showdown.
You don't argue with children.
No. We're going to have
that's credited to Amechi.
So we're going to have a massive showdown, and that we are mobilizing already. We're mobilizing already.
All right, it's been a pleasure having you around. Very informative, educative, and seeing the work you've done so far. Ukpola O, Chinedu, if I'm correct, Convener, Nigerian Electoral Reforms Coalition. It's been a splendid time. And to my wonderful guy, the Benny boy, thank you for being here with us. And to our viewers at home, I'm sure you've learned something. You've been informed about what's going on. And he said they're going to keep tab on this. It's been activated in every state in the country, including the FCT. And the next line of action, they're going to let us know. We'll keep you informed. It's been Voting Arena. Thank you.